On February of 1986, the first issue of Frank Miller's classic miniseries, The Dark Knight Returns, hit shelves and changed comics as we know it. It brought in what people refer to as the modern age of comics, and it also was the darkest interpretation of Batman yet. In the 1970s, writer Dennis O'Neil and artist Neil Adams managed to make a good Batman run that had darker elements, similar to Batman's first comics. But The Dark Knight Returns sealed the deal when it came to the dark side of Batman. The legendary miniseries was a declaration to the world that Batman was now edgy and dark, unlike the bright, campy crusader he was during the 60s. This was a very good thing for the character, as he was now taken in a more serious light. Every comic that preceded The Dark Knight Returns was affected by it, and it changed the character of Batman forever. But it didn't affect Batman Forever, the movie released in 1995, directed by Joel Schumacher. The film was based more on the campy version of the character. Batman Forever received mixed reviews, but its sequel didn't. Batman and Robin is probably the most hated movie starring the Caped Crusader. It was just not very good. It was silly and campy. Not that those things were necessarily bad, Batman and Robin was just not written very well. Camp can actually be good, like in the Batman show during the 60s. After watching a few episodes of the first season of the show, I was actually shocked by its quality. It may not be the best, but it has really high production value. Batman was silly and campy, but in a charming way. The show actually introduced a lot of elements to the Batman mythos and was very important to the Batman franchise. It introduced Barbara Gordon, our obsession with the numerous gadgets and vehicles that Bats used, featured and established several villains as mainstays such as the Joker, the Riddler, the Penguin, and Hawkeye. Oh, okay, maybe not that last one. But most importantly, it popularized the character of Batman to the point where he could stand alongside Superman instead of below him. Without the show, we would probably not get as much Batman as we do today. Adam West, Burt Ward, William Dozier, and others had made Batman an icon in American pop culture. There were three very popular things in the 60s: the Beatles, Bond, and Batman. It's kind of sad that the idea of a bright, colorful Batman was dismissed and looked down upon so much after The Dark Knight Returns and the failure of Batman and Robin. I understand why people hate it, because this kind of shaped the public image of what comics were at the time, which were silly, wacky, and childish, and it kind of damaged the reputation of comics as a medium, and people thought that this medium was only for really weird people or for kids. But number one, comics were silly even before the show debuted, and also the show was so important to the time and to the character of Batman that if it didn't exist, Batman really wouldn't be the same today. The reputation of a bright and colorful Batman probably even got more damaged when the Nolan trilogy came out, just right after the failure that was Batman and Robin. By the way, I'm not saying that dark and brooding Batman is bad and that it sucks. It doesn't. I love that version of Batman more than the one I'm currently talking about. It's just that I think fans should acknowledge and accept both interpretations of the character. What's so cool about Batman is how different he can be. It's rare to see a character as flexible as Batman. He can be damaged, dark, and serious, but also fun, energetic, and bright. Both versions are valid, and I don't think that's a bad thing. Speaking of bad things, let's talk about Batman vs. Superman, a film that I kinda found pretty boring. It had a very dark interpretation of Batman but it wasn't one that people really loved. Ben Affleck was perfect for Batman, but the script and the story weren't perfect for the Caped Crusader. Both Batman and Superman were unnecessarily dark for the sake of being dark, and it didn't really benefit the story in any way. Bruce's motive for trying to kill Superman felt forced by the plot, and it's probably something Batman won't even do, which makes this interpretation of the character feel childish and dumb. But I don't think Batman fans were totally upset by the movie, because they already liked a version of the character that debuted 2 years earlier, Lego Batman. And I know this isn't the minifigure, but it's the closest thing that I could find to it upstairs. I mean, it is Lego, it's my brother's, but it's not the Batman Lego minifigure, and I know, but it's pretty cool. Let's go back to the topic. Lego Batman, voiced by BoJack Horseman himself, is probably one of the most odd and unique interpretations of the character, and yet it worked so well. Every scene that the Lego Batman is in during the course of the Lego movie, he stole the show. People love this new Lego Batman so much so that 3 years later he got his own movie. And even from the opening scene of that movie, you could tell that this was gonna be a joyride.
Black. All important movies start with a black screen. Warner Bros. Why not Warner Brothers? I don't know. DC. The house that Batman built. Yeah, what, Superman? Come at me, bro.
The Lego Batman movie was extremely creative and enjoyable. It seemed like the screenwriters were huge Batman fans who knew and appreciated all aspects of the character. The Lego Batman movie felt like a homage to the superhero genre and the character of Batman. Speaking of Batman, let's talk about the character of Lego Batman for a second. Lego Batman as a character is, again, one of the weirdest interpretations of the Caped Crusader, yet somehow it works. Lego Batman is egotistical and pretentious, something that I personally never really associated with the character of Batman. These traits work mostly because it helps the comedy a lot, and also because this movie doesn't take itself too seriously.
But first, where's the seatbelt?
The first lesson is, life doesn't give you seatbelts. Let's go.
The character of Lego Batman also works because the movie addresses something about the Dark Knight that is not usually tackled head-on: his loneliness. The Lego Batman movie is about Bruce's loneliness. He pushes people away and is scared to have a family because he doesn't want to experience the same pain he felt when he lost his parents. This movie is about Batman embracing people again and realizing that he can't do everything by himself. Beneath all the jokes and references lies a very mature and heartwarming tale that many could relate to.
Where are you going?
I made a promise. I gotta go back to the Phantom Zone.
Padre, please.
It's gonna be okay, kid. Sometimes losing people is part of life. But that doesn't mean you stop letting them in. This is my family. But it's your family too.
Another reason why I love the Lego Batman movie is that it's a celebration and a parody of the superhero genre and the character of Batman. This is why the Lego Batman movie worked so well. It's so self-aware and I love it.
Hey, can Scarecrow help?
Permit us to lend you assistance.
Yeah, why don't we use these guys?
What am I gonna do? Get a bunch of criminals together to fight the criminals? That's a stupid idea.
It pokes fun at superhero tropes and Batman history in a comedic way that can't really be done in any other Batman story.
Man, I really like that guy. I sure hope nothing bad happens to him.
Nothing bad ever happens to me.
Your city is under attack by Gotham's greatest criminal minds, including...
I think it represents how we should treat the silly side and the dark side of Batman. We should treat it with respect. This movie pokes fun at just how weird the Adam West Batman era was, but it also respects it. Alfred even wears the Adam West Batman suit for a good chunk of the movie, and multiple villains are featured in the film that are directly pulled from the Silver Age Batman comics. Whether we love or hate the bright version of Batman, we should at least acknowledge its impact that resulted in the Batman we have today. The screenwriters acknowledged and embraced both the silly side and the dark side of Batman, and that resulted in something truly special. The Lego Batman movie is a very important movie because it was released during the time where people realized that the ultra-dark and edgy Batman in BVS didn't work. This movie showed mainstream audiences that Batman can actually work as a funny character in a very comical story. The film gave a bright interpretation of the character, something we haven't really received much with the exception of the Silver Age and two recent Batman comics that I know of, Batman 66 and Real Gotham, which were adorable and fun. Batman is a special character because he is so many different things to so many people. He can be both bright and dark, campy or serious, and it can work incredibly well. A major reason why this character works is how malleable and flexible he can be. This is what I realized while watching the Lego Batman movie. The Lego Batman movie grossed a total of $312 million worldwide, and is actually the second highest rated theatrically released Batman movie on Rotten Tomatoes. And best of all, it revived and updated the bright Batman of the Silver Age and showed us how special and flexible the character of Batman really is. Not bad, Lego Batman. Not bad at all.
White. All important movies end with a white screen.
Anyway, that's all for today. By the way, I think I forgot to tell you guys this in the last video, but thank you for letting me reach and surpass 100 subscribers. It actually currently stands at 115, so that's pretty good. I mean, it took almost 3 years to get to this point, but I mean, I'm contented nonetheless. I started this channel around 3 years ago, and I don't see myself stopping anytime soon. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, and if you want to see more, subscribe and tap the notification bell to get immediately updated whenever I upload my next video. My name is Joshua C, and I will see you in the next comic book video.